In a world where the familiar dollar is an everyday staple, the $500 bill stands as a legendary icon, shrouded in both history and mystery. Today, we journey through time to unravel the story of these remarkable notes, each one a distinct chapter from America's financial past. The journey of the $500 bill began during the Civil War. These notes were initially issued to finance the Union's war efforts. The first series, Legal Tender Notes, featured the portrait of Albert Gallatin, the Treasury Secretary under Jefferson and Madison. Gallatin's image on the bill symbolized the nation's resilience and fiscal ambition during a period of profound upheaval. As time marched on, so did the $500 bill. In 1869, John Quincy Adams graced the note, symbolizing the era of diplomacy and expansion. However, he was replaced with Joseph Mansfield by 1874, who remained on the note until the last $500 legal tender note of 1880. A lesser-known but fascinating series was the compound interest Treasury notes. Issued during and after the Civil War, these notes, including the $500 denomination featuring a standard bearer, were unique as they accrued interest over time, a reflection of an innovative approach to wartime financing. Similarly, the interest-bearing notes, another distinct series that emerged during the Civil War. These notes, including the $500 denomination, were introduced as a financial strategy to support the Union's war efforts. What set them apart was their ability to accrue interest over a specified period, usually 1 to 3 years. The concept behind interest-bearing notes was innovative for its time. They functioned not just as currency but also as a form of government debt, paying holders a return on their investment. Another remarkable chapter in the history of the $500 bill was the National Bank Note Series. Issued by national banks chartered by the federal government, these notes represented a significant innovation in American currency. Each $500 national bank note was backed by United States bonds held by the issuing bank. The silver certificates, graced by Charles Sumner's portrait, represent another intriguing chapter. Introduced in the late 19th century, these $500 bills were backed by silver held in the Treasury and were a testament to the country's wealth in precious metals. Around the same period, the Treasury or coin notes emerged. Issued primarily for government purchases of silver, the $500 Treasury notes of 1891 played a significant role in the nation's silver trade and economic strategies. These short-lived, enigmatic notes featured General William Tecumseh Sherman. Perhaps the most prestigious were the gold certificates. These $500 bills, backed by gold reserves, were a symbol of wealth and confidence in the nation's gold holdings. Their initial release in 1863 featured a majestic eagle, later replaced by Abraham Lincoln, who remained on the note until 1922. With the dawn of the Federal Reserve in 1913, a new breed of currency was born, the Federal Reserve notes. The $500 bill in this series, with the portrait of Chief Justice John Marshall, signified America's evolving financial system and economic expansion in the 20th century. 1928 marked a pivotal year in the history of U.S. currency. It was the year when the $500 bill, along with other denominations, underwent a significant transformation, shrinking to what we recognize today as the modern size. This change, part of a broader effort to standardize and economize the production of paper money, brought a new era for the $500 bill, making it more practical and easier to handle. It also brought a new face, President William McKinley. In this new age of smaller notes, the $500 bill was issued in two forms, as Federal Reserve notes and as gold certificates. The Federal Reserve notes, backed by the government's promise, became the standard form of currency for the public. Concurrently, the gold certificates echoed an era of economic prosperity underpinned by the gold standard. In the mid-20th century, the U.S. Treasury started to limit its issuance. By this time, the $500 bill was primarily in circulation as a Federal Reserve note. And, in 1969, with the advent of electronic banking systems diminishing its use and concerns over the misuse of high-denomination currency in illicit activities, the Federal Reserve ceased the circulation of the $500 bill. What was once a cornerstone of American finance receded into the shadows of history. Today, the $500 bill lives on as a prized possession for currency collectors. Each note, scarce and steeped in history, is a coveted piece, valued far beyond its face value for its historical significance and rarity. It is important to point out that, even though the $500 bill is no longer made, all of these bills can still be used since they remain legal tender. Although, their collector value will always be higher than their face value. Reflecting on these fascinating stories, it's intriguing to ponder how the evolution of currency mirrors the changing tides of our economy and society. As we embrace digital transactions in today's world, the tales of these grand old bills remind us of a different era in financial history. What lessons can we draw from this evolution, and how might they shape our understanding of the future of currency? Curious about more stories of our money? Subscribe and join us for more. Stay curious.